Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. And in this video I'm going to be showing you everything that has been added, changed and fixed in the second experimental snapshot for Minecraft 1.18. Yes, so a new snapshot for 1.18 released yesterday. I didn't make a video yesterday because I missed it, completely missed it. I didn't expect it to be a new snapshot already. But anyway, in this video I will show you what it has been changed, what has been fixed and what has been added here as well. So if you like Minecraft videos like this one, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft videos like it. But let's just get started. So first of all, Mojang said this. So thanks for all the feedback we've received. It's nice to hear that most people like the new terrain generation and we really appreciate the concrete suggestions about things to improve. So that's good. They got a lot of nice feedback. We did a bunch of tweaks and improvements during the week, and I've updated this post with Experimental Snapshot 2, so that's what I'm playing right now. You can download it yourself as well. I will leave a link to the page in the description down below so you can check that out. We probably won't release a new snapshot for a few weeks now unless we messed something up badly, since most of the team is on vacation. Makes sense. We didn't really expect these snapshots to be weekly since they're explicitly called experimental snapshots and not based on the week number, so that makes sense. So that's what they said. Now let's get into what is different in this second experimental snapshot compared to the first one. If you want to know what was added in the first experimental snapshot, I'll leave a link to a video explaining that in the top right hand side of your screen, so check that out if you want. But let's go over the second experimental snapshot now. First of all, they fixed an issue we saw in the previous snapshot where some microbiomes were created with just around about 10 to 50 blocks of a biome. So that should now be fixed. They say that biomes tend to be a bit larger and less fragmented now, so that should be good. We shouldn't see these very tiny microbiomes. Of course, there can still be smaller biomes and larger biomes, but they shouldn't be absolutely tiny anymore. Then they also raised the cloud level. Now I have clouds off, so let me turn them on. There we go. So clouds now appear at Y 192 instead of 128. Let's also put them on fancy. Now they're 3D. And we'll see that the clouds are now mostly above most of the mountains. So these mountains peak at around Y 170 and the clouds are at Y 192. Next up, there's a name change to some old biomes. So the mountain biomes, the old mountain biomes, have now been renamed back to extreme hills, which I think is a change some people are welcoming, since previously they were also already called extreme hills, and now the mountain biomes are called extreme hills again. So these are just the old mountain biomes that look something like this right here. So yeah, since the height of the terrain no longer depends on the biomes, the extreme hills aren't that extreme anymore. So yes, we are in the wooded mountains, which are still called wooded mountains. They will probably fix that as well, I'm guessing, since yeah, definitely no mountains there. And these apparently are the extreme hills. I mean, this is pretty extreme still, but I wouldn't call this extreme hills. Also, you've already seen here, we're now in the gravelly hills. So the gravelly mountains were changed to the gravelly hills. Even though there is no gravel here, so I'm not quite sure. I think this is just another one of these microbiomes, so apparently that hasn't been fixed completely yet, because there's definitely no gravel here, and there was a little gravelly hills there. So there you go, those two have been changed. Then also beaches have changed, not their name, but if you go over to one of the beaches, so either beach or snowy beach or stone shore, doesn't really matter. We go over there, we will see that yes, beaches are now way larger. So previously beaches were around about 5 to 10 blocks next to an ocean. But look at this massive beach. There's also a beautiful shipwreck here, but the beach stretches all the way over here and then goes into stone shore, and then up here goes into still stone shore, and there we go, plains. So yeah, that's a very large beach, as you can see here. I think this is a nice change because the beach biome wasn't really anything, just a little patch of sand. And now it's at least a little bit larger and a little bit more noticeable. So that's nice at least. Then a couple changes to the meadow biome that was introduced in the previous snapshot. Now sheep will be able to spawn in these meadows. So there's currently not one here, but they will be able to spawn in here. And also rabbits will be able to spawn in the meadow. Also, this terrain generation is truly incredible. But there are some rabbits here. I think I saw a couple already. There we go. Here's a couple of rabbits. And also in the previous snapshot there were lots and lots of donkeys spawning in the meadow, but there should be a little less of them now. And then of course some different flowers spawn in the meadow, like these alliums, but the blue orchids that normally spawn in the swamps will no longer be able to spawn in the meadow. And they mentioned that the swamps were sad because this was their unique thing. which is true. Those only spawn in the swamp now. Then if you go over to a swamp, we will see that yes, there is the blue orchid here. And these will now generate properly. So previously they just generated as microbiomes, but now they're completely large biomes, the swamps. And for some reason they say swamps are happier now. So apparently swamps are alive, which is a little bit scary maybe, I don't know. Also, what is this? Apparently this is just the plains. Okay, yes, yeah. That's the plains. Then there were two biomes missing in the previous snapshot. So those were the ice spikes biomes and the eroded badlands. So these should now be added back. So here's the eroded badlands. Very, very nice. And here's the little ice spikes biome. There's not even a single one of those large spikes, I think. Nope. It also generated on top of a mountain. That's pretty cool, actually. Then the underground biomes, like the dripstone caves and lush caves, will no longer generate as much above ground. They generate a little bit too much above ground, and so they've reduced that a little bit. They can still peek out of cave entrances, which looks very nice. Then another change to mountains is that they can become even larger. So I think I found an example right here. So these go through the clouds and all the way up here. So this is why 215, but apparently they can reach up to Y 260. I haven't found a mountain that large just yet, but this one is already pretty crazy. Look at that massive mountain. Wow, that is quite insane. So they also state that they've increased chances of finding areas of flat terrain, since the mountains were a little bit overpowering the rest of the generation, but now you should also be able to find some nice flat terrain in your worlds as well. Within the meadow biome, sometimes now a single tree can spawn, and then most often this tree has a bee nest in it, but sadly this one doesn't. As you can see, this is a very large meadow and just the single tree right there. And also, mobs will now be able to spawn in any of the mountain biomes. Emeralds and infested stone can now generate in these mountain biomes, just like in the old mountain biomes, which are now called extreme hills. And also now, if you're underground, you should be able to find more and larger veins of ores, since people weren't really able to find them. And apparently structures now show up in the right biomes mostly. So apparently there was something going on with structures showing up in the wrong biomes. And I have to pause and look at this beautiful generation right here. Look at this. That's just an incredible cave. Truly awesome. So they also mentioned that they toned down on the mega cave entrances. But I mean, they're definitely still here. So they'll probably be less common, I guess. But this one is just insane. So they say that it was too easy to get down to diamond levels. So there will be less of these mega caves leading immediately all the way down to the diamond level, but this one is still here, so they still can generate. So they've also reduced the amount of sand and gravel that falls down upon generation, so in that case they've replaced the sand with sandstone and the gravel with stone. So it could still happen, but not as often as in the first snapshot. Then it changed to the zombie, skeleton, spider and cave spider mob spawners. So these mob spawners will now spawn in mobs with light level 11 or below. So previously this was, I believe, only in complete darkness or light level 7, but they've increased that to light level 11. So you have to place a couple more torches to make sure that no mobs spawn from these spawners. And you can also customize this light level that mobs spawn in from the spawners using tags and stuff like that. So of course, once again, all of the changes and features in these experimental snapshots are, wow, experimental, yes, shocker. So all of these could still change, of course. And then a couple of issues that the Mojang team already know about and will fix in the future are, you can't open worlds of Experimental Snapshot 1 in Experimental Snapshot 2. The performance is very, very low in these experimental snapshots, but then that's not what they're focusing on here. The nether terrain is messed up and doesn't look normal and should be fixed as well. The end pillars don't generate, which I already showed in a previous video. Link to that is in the top right hand side of your screen. And then some generation to do with the badlands makes it so red sand is very hard to obtain. And also they mentioned that aquifers sometimes break coastlines in a way that shouldn't happen. But there we go, that's pretty much it. That's the second experimental snapshot for Minecraft 1.18. Lots of changes, lots of fixes. Very good to see they're working on this. Of course, we won't see a snapshot in the coming few weeks, but once there is a new snapshot, I will cover it, of course. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that next video. Also, please like the video if you enjoyed it. And then there we go. I want to thank my tier 3 member, the Smikkelaar. Thank you so much for becoming a tier 3 member. If you also want to become a member, click the blue join button below the video to check out the different tiers. But there we go. I hope you all enjoyed this video and hope to see you all in the next one. So until then, Bye bye.